Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to AAA Wednesday, which stands for Ask Alyssa Anything, and this is my weekly Q&A session where I'm answering questions in the comments about the publishing industry and writing a stronger story. It's my small way of saying thank you to my amazing community of subscribers. I really appreciate all of you so much. And if you're new here and you haven't subscribed already, in addition to these weekly sessions, I also do deep dives into the publishing industry and craft tips, especially for writers who are working on a novel. So if any of that interests you, I definitely recommend subscribing. I promise that you won't regret it. Before we dive into the questions today, if you could scroll down and do me a quick favor and just hit that thumbs up button, it really does help out my channel a lot. So I would really appreciate it. Without further ado, let's dive into the first question. What is an exclusive query? One agency asks that authors do not send exclusive queries as queries are meant to be shared with multiple agencies. Please translate. An exclusive query would be if you are sending your query just to one literary agent. And the reason that most agencies do not operate on exclusive queries is because they take on such a few percentage of the authors who query them that it just isn't fair to you as the author to send them an exclusive query and wait to hear back if it's in all likelihood going to be a rejection. And they don't want you to have to wait on them and not shoot your shot with other agents who might be the perfect fit for you. Agents understand that querying really is a numbers game and it can take a lot of queries for you to find your perfect agent match, so they don't want you to be limited just to them. And because it takes them so long, typically weeks, if not months, to get through their queries, then it's really just leaving you in limbo for a long time while you wait to hear back from that one singular agent. That's why exclusive queries are really not common. And it looks like this agency was just calling out that they want you to query other agencies, which is exactly the standard in the industry. So I would definitely encourage you to query multiple agencies at the same time. Here's the next question. I have a question about querying agents. I've seen some agencies that say no response is a rejection, but I've also seen at the same agency that they don't list how long the wait time is. I feel this leaves me in the dark, wondering when it's appropriate to nudge them or if it is at all. Is it okay to email an agent that says they don't send rejections to ask if you've been rejected? Or should I just give it a standard few months and write it off as a no? This is honestly one of the most frustrating positions to be in as a querying author, to see that the agency states they don't respond to queries they're not interested in, but they also don't give you an estimated time frame that they're going to respond. So you're completely left in the dark as to if you've been rejected or if they're still considering your manuscript. In general, I would assume if it has been a few months and you haven't heard from that agent, that it is a rejection. That's around the time that agents tend to keep up with their queries, though it is not out of the realm of possibility that they simply haven't gotten to it yet. There's no harm in sending them a gentle, polite nudge to ask if they had reviewed the query, but honestly, I wouldn't expect a response even from that nudge. Maybe the agent does see the nudge and does let you know that they are still considering it, in which case that's great and that gives you an update. But I wouldn't expect a response. You might not hear back at all, honestly. And that's simply because agents' inboxes are absolutely overflowing. I saw it firsthand when I managed an agency's submission inbox. So it is not because they don't want to review your query. It's not because they're discounting what you have presented them. It's just that they're trying to get through as many as they can, and that agency has determined that to do that, they can't respond to queries they're not interested in. I know this is a really sucky place, frankly, to be in, but I hope that gives you some more context. Before we get into the next question, I wanted to let you know about a free resource I created specially for my YouTube community. It's called My Story Self-Assessment Worksheet, and the link to download it is in the description below. It's a fun, easy quiz designed to help you see your story from a new perspective and identify what's working well and what could be improved on the next draft as you continue to revise it. Downloading it is going to sign you up for my exclusive newsletter where I interview publishing industry professionals and successfully published authors. I'm getting so much amazing feedback that you all are enjoying the chapter break interviews. So I'm going to continue doing them. And if you want to check it out, the link straight to the newsletter is also in the description. Here's the next question. If you spot a factual error in a book, would an author typically prefer you to contact them about it or not? Generally speaking, would a published author welcome the feedback or feel offended, trying not to offend anyone? I wonder if authors would want that information for subsequent editions. Based on my experience working with published authors, I say there would be no reason why you can't alert them and or the publisher to any factual errors or even typos in the book. When I worked at Penguin Random House, there was a customer service line that readers could write to, and sometimes those would be directed to us in the editorial department if they dealt with typos in the book or content issues like you were saying, for us to potentially fix or just keep in mind or pass on to the author. So there's no reason why you can't do that, and plenty of authors would welcome that feedback and that information. I'm sure that the author wants the book to be as accurate as possible, so I don't see why they would take offense to you bringing it out. It would really be a case-by-case basis for the publisher to determine whether it was substantial enough to reprint all of the books that are already out there with this error in it. But there are certainly cases where on a reprint edition, the change would be incorporated, especially if it is a blatant error. We have time for one more question today. I do not want my face to be out there. Do publishers require authors to send headshots, or can they keep their looks a secret? I would say the majority of traditionally published authors do have their name and an author bio included on the book jacket cover. You can go to any bookstore and open it up to either the back page or the front page, and typically there'll be a little headshot and a write-up. But that isn't the case for all books necessarily. And there are plenty of authors who write under pseudonyms, even gender-neutral pseudonyms, and you have no idea what the identity of that author is. So it's not unheard of in traditional publishing. It's something that I would bring up with your agent and your editor at the publishing house, and you can discuss what a pseudonym would look like for your publishing purposes. Or potentially if you can publish under your name, but just not put a headshot on your book if you don't want to. That's all we had time for today. Thank you so much to everyone who asked a question, and if you have something you'd like me to address in a future session, drop it in the comments here and it will be added to my queue. Before you head out, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button to help out my channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already to join this amazing community. And don't forget your free story self-assessment worksheet and my newsletter link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and happy writing.